earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. My obedience is to God, not to people. And so as long as I'm in his will and I'm serving and I'm doing his, his word, my sheep will know my voice. Even the sheep in wolf clothing. That is not my battle.
But
that's
with the
his.
questions that are out there, why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not?
Well, a couple of things, right? I have multiple degrees, and my thing is that my proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals. My proof is already within my credentials, my degrees, and also more than just my titles. It's in how effective I've been.
Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot bring forth that doctoral degree?
So I've already covered this, right? And we're here obviously to talk about my new book. So I've earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. And we're going to leave it just as that. Yeah.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Baby, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
And that's where, and you're standing by that.
Standing by it. Yeah,
right.
Because I earned it.
Hello, beautiful people. I am Mary Jane. Welcome to Net Voices. Today, we are on the intellectual side of social media. It's serious business today. Now, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, is she qualified to be a doctor? That's the question a lot of people are asking on social media. There are different opinions out there about her. Some are saying she doesn't have the necessary credentials, therefore she's not qualified to be a doctor. While others can be bothered because they like her approach to work and think she's better than some of the doctors with the right credentials. Here's Dr. Cheyenne Bryant on the Breakfast Club addressing rumors about the legitimacy of her PhD and people's reaction towards her.
The conversation about your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online. Mm-hmm. How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit, because I don't give a fuck about it. Now, to my doc squad, my fan base, my folks, my village, it's very simple. I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Where I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was past my 2 years. So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance. We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So do you want us to refund you? Or do you want us not? I said no, because I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money, and it wipes out your entire program. Luckily, I had, I do this with all of the schools. I had downloaded from the actual student portal my transcripts at that time, and I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up. Just in general.
They are going to kill you online this week. They're going to say she has no records. They just want to hate you regardless. But
no, that's fine. And it's not even that there's no records that I don't. The school had a third party that carried the records only for a limit of 2 years. So it's not me. It's any student that attended Argosy. But again, it doesn't, how can I say it? It doesn't affect me because If I chose to go get a license as an LMFT, I have my master's in marriage, family, child therapist. I have my hours. I can just take that and say, hey, let me submit these for licensure, and I want to go sit for my exam, and I'll have to do a study. I don't need a doctorate in counseling psychology to go get licensed as a therapist.
It's super sad the way Cheyenne Bryant sat on the Breakfast Club and told a bold-faced lie. Not one, but a couple. Myself, and I'm sure many others, were rooting for her. We were hoping that her doctoral credentials were valid. Anyone who's completed a college program, graduated from college, and has had to retrieve their transcripts for one reason or another knows the process. Outside of her publicly lying about her credentials and playing in our face, like some of us don't know the process or some of us can't do the research and find out the truth, the big issue for her personally is the money. She's gotten used to the bag, and she knows the same lies she told to get it are the same lies now being exposed and are going to make her lose it.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Cheyenne Bryant, you are not a doctor, okay? And the only reason I'm speaking on this is because the field that she's in affects so many people, and so many people followed her based off of her presenting herself as a doctor, okay? When you become a doctor, the process to become a doctor is so grueling. It's so disrespectful to the people who actually stood the test, stood the time, and went through the whole process to become a doctor. That's the first thing. The second thing is that mental health and therapy, like, that is something that is very major right now, and it comes with seriousness and treatment plans, okay? So to pretend like you're able to treat patients, you wasn't with us shooting in the gym. I'm sorry. The blood, the sweat, the tears, everything that goes into becoming a doctor is something that you only understand if you went through it. And to have a person presenting themselves as a doctor when they're not and trying to justify it, like, I'll let you rock for a while, but girl, knock it off. This, like, and to be on major broadcasting platforms trying to justify this is, like, insane to me. You are not a doctor. Like, just, it's okay. Go sit for the test. You said you have the credits, go sit for the test and pass the test, and then we can all call you doctor. And we will gladly call you doctor. But until then, please stop posing on these people's internet. Okay? Please stop. If you wrote a dissertation, you should be able to produce that somewhere. We want to see it. We want the receipts. Go ahead. Give it to us. Give it to us. And then after you get that, you sit for the test, you go sit for that license. You go do the process to get your license. Because if you are treating and diagnosing and providing treatment plans and you have a private practice, you should have a license. Don't let these people on this internet lie to you. That's incorrect.
Y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Some of y'all refer to y'all pastor as doctor, and that nigga barely finished high school. You call your bishops doctor, and all they got is some honorary from some seminary school, and they ain't never accomplished nothing. But Cheyenne Bryant may or may not be a legitimate doctor, and y'all tearing her to pieces. Especially black women. Can y'all just be honest and tell us that you hate her because she's pretty? Like, so we can move on? Let's wrap this shit up by midnight. They trying to take our right to vote. We got bigger fish to fry. Bye.
So there's a concept in psychology called denial. And this is a defense mechanism where a person will reject or distort reality because the truth threatens the ego or identity they've built for themselves. As a licensed psychologist, and I know other mental health professionals would agree with me, as we're watching this Cheyenne Bryant situation unfold, there's another layer going on, and we call that cognitive dissonance. That's the mental discomfort that happens when someone's reality conflicts with the story they've told themselves, the story they've told the world. And instead of correcting it, people will double down on the narrative that they've created because admitting the truth would require them to confront shame, loss, embarrassment, and even the collapse of the entire identity they've built for themselves. As a licensed clinical psychologist who spent years earning my doctorate, completing supervised training, and passing state licensure exams, I've honestly long had questions about her legitimacy because there's a language clinicians use, there's a depth of understanding, precision, and ethical responsibility that becomes second nature through training. And when someone repeatedly misuses terminology or speaks in ways that don't align with the foundational clinical knowledge you get from education and experience, it's going to raise flags for those of us who are actually legitimately in the field. And this is why credentials matter, not for ego, not for elitism, but because people are trusting you with their mental health, their trauma, their vulnerability, and their healing. And I mean, let's be for real. The woman clearly has the charisma, the communication skills, and the presence to have been able to build a platform without misleading the public about credentials she may not possess. People connect to confidence, relatability, storytelling, and delivery. She never needed to allegedly attach herself to a title that wasn't legitimately earned in order to have an impact. Our title should never be the sole thing that defines us. But for those of us who sacrifice years and years and years of study, clinical training, supervision, licensing, exam, and ethical accountability to legitimately earn those credentials, it's deeply unsettling to watch people attempt to hijack titles they never earned. It has nothing to do with jealousy. It has everything to do with ethics. You can have all the confidence in the world, and it doesn't mean you're competent. Confidence is not competence. A platform is not proof, and popularity is not professional qualification. We've got to do better, y'all.
I received my master's in community counseling from Argosy University in 2014. So it is true, Argosy did shut down in 2018, and it really sucks for people that hadn't graduated yet because like the school just shut down and there were people like in the middle of degree programs. I graduated in 2014, so my degree was already done. I had already received it. And for people that are wondering, the counseling program through Argosy was CACREP accredited. CACREP accreditation matters if you're going towards licensure. I didn't really go like the traditional route for getting licensed immediately after getting my degree. I took a long break, long story with that. But in 2022, I needed my transcript in order to submit to the Virginia board so I could begin my supervision. And I was able to easily access that. I have proof. Here's the email that I got in December 2022 with parchment telling me that they sent over my requested document, which was my transcripts. And I was curious if I could still access parchment now and still get things. And yes, I can still get a diploma, enrollment verification, and at the bottom, a transcript. I also dug up an email because I keep everything. I always keep my receipt. In this email, they're basically telling us the school is shut down, where to get academic transcripts, where to go. There's different things on here about the status of your financial aid and everything.
There are two groups in this conversation. Group A totally disagree that she is a doctor because she doesn't have the necessary credentials. Group B are the people that can be bothered that she is a doctor without the right credentials. What both groups can agree on is that she didn't answer the question that she was asked at the Breakfast Club. She went round in circle and we got no answer. She was asked about her dissertation. Why is that? Why is it that people can't find her dissertation online? A dissertation is a long-form original research project completed as the final requirement for a PhD. You choose a topic and you do an extensive research on that topic. Whatever your discoveries are, it's what you're contributing to that field. You spend time doing it, so it's not something you can forget easily. She could have shared the topic of her dissertation. She doesn't have to give us all the details. Instead, she talked about her transcripts and financial aid. The reason why people are asking about her dissertation, it's because it's a requirement for a PhD. It's a must. You can't skip it and get a PhD. In order for her to be a doctor, it's crucial for her to do that. That's why. Let's say we agree with her explanation. She's still not a doctor because she doesn't have the necessary credentials or proof to back her claim up. She can be Miss Cheyenne. There's nothing wrong with that. Her villagers, her supporters will ride with her regardless of the title. It's not fair to the doctors, the real doctors, who spend their time, money, energy, and puts in the effort and work that it takes to be a doctor. It's not fair. No. What do you all think? Do you agree with her explanation? Do you think her explanation is valid? Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.